You know, I've mentioned this in quite a few of my videos so far, but I really want to make a video of how it's kind of scary out there right now. If you're a furry and you're going to a convention and you're checking social media, you just see all sorts of reports of things that are kind of terrifying. Admittedly, some of them funny, but some really concerning, and some very serious issues are going on at conventions. One of the most recent conventions is called Fur-A, and that's a Canadian con, you know, Fur-A, duh. And at the rave, it got reported that someone got stabbed by a needle, and that's horrifying. You might be thinking, why would someone do that? What are you talking about? That doesn't even make sense. Someone could stab someone with a needle for a variety of purposes and get away with it without you even noticing. It's a quick jab, that's it. The reasons they do this is to inject possibly a narcotic, possibly a date, R-word drug, to take advantage of someone. It could even be a dirty needle with something like HIV or something in the worst case scenario. I can't imagine someone that is that depraved, but then again, with all the news lately in the world, it's also not surprising at the same time. So at Fur-A, someone reported that they got stabbed with a needle, and they were very, very confident. They were very confident that they got stabbed with a needle, and they went to the hospital to get blood tests drawn, which if they really did believe they get stabbed by a needle, that's a responsible thing to do. You know, make sure you didn't get HIV, make sure you didn't get dosed with a drug or whatever. So they did what they were supposed to do, and I hope they went to security right away, but they also tweeted about it very confidently and said that this is in fact what happened. And of course, a lot of people were like, it could have been a mosquito, but if you're in a fursuit, chances are a mosquito's not going to get through a fursuit. It doesn't really make sense. Or they came up with a bunch of different reasons, and the other person said, no, I'm allergic to mosquitoes. I would know if it's a mosquito bite. And then everyone's like, oh, whoa, this really was a needle thing. And because they posted on social media, it started to scare everybody and have them believe that this was in fact the case. And I understand if something this shocking happens tweeting it, but it's really important that you know exactly what happened. And Fur-A released an official statement in which it boils down to, I mean, you can read the whole thing, I'll link it in this, but it boils down to what actually happened was there was a fursuiter who stumbled and fell. So they were in fursuit, they fell, and of course what they do is when you're falling, you grab onto something. It's a natural reaction. And when they grabbed onto something, that was the person that said they felt the stab, and they had something in their costume or their cufflink, I believe, that accidentally poked that person and it stabbed them as they're falling. And this person was embarrassed and they kind of stumbled away and they stayed in character and didn't say anything. That is the official reports, according to Fur-A, according to the cameras, according to the people they interviewed. There was no malicious intent behind it. It was all a big misunderstanding. Now my thing is, if there is a situation, you can break character, okay? Break character and talk if it's something like, oh, I just like dragged a person down, I just hit them or something. Talk. Say, oh, I'm sorry, or something like that. And that could have avoided so much right there. I understand if you're embarrassed, but say something. It's really important to not stay in character at all times, guys, especially if it's a safety issue. But when I heard about this, I had actually never heard of injecting people with a needle. Like, that was a new concept for me. So I actually wanted to show you guys, and some research that I did, that this is a thing that happens. And it's happened a lot. And there's a New York Post article titled Needle Spiking in Bars, so it's called Needle Spiking, Clubs Sparks New SA Concerns. A UK student described feeling vulnerable and violated after being a victim of needle spiking at a nightclub in Nottingham. And most of these reports so far are in the UK, oddly enough, and abroad. Not so much in the United States, and I don't really know why that is. Hers is one of many cases reported across Britain in which an injection is administered to someone without their knowledge or consent, usually in a nightclub or bar setting, sometimes through the clothes. Female students have made a majority of the reports, but some young men say they have also been victimized. The police say no other offenses, including SA, have been linked to the reports of being injected, but there have been no known arrests for injecting someone. Regardless, authorities say they're stepping up patrols and working on universities. So they give some tips if you believe your friend is spiked. Stay with them, keep talking to them, call an ambulance if their condition deteriorates. Don't let them go home on their own, of course. Don't leave the venue with someone you don't know or trust. That's pretty big, that's pretty important. If possible, try to prevent them from drinking more alcohol, as this could lead to more serious problems. Makes sense. And urine and blood tests should be carried out in the first 24 to 72 hours to make sure that they detect any drug traces. So that's scary, and I was like, okay, so that's a thing. But then there's a Wikipedia article. Say needle spiking is a phenomenon initially reported in the UK and Ireland, where people have reported themselves subjected to a surreptitious injection of unidentified sedative drugs, usually in crowded environments such as a dance floor and a nightclub, producing symptoms typical of date R-word drugs. There's 56 claims in the UK alone, which is a lot in 2021. In France, over 100 cases. Ireland, let's see, how many was there? Multiple cases. In Germany, a musician said she was a victim of a needle spiking incident, and she had an unwanted psychedelic experience. In Spain, 23 cases. Switzerland, in the street parade, in an open rave, there was 8 people that thought they were a victim of it. Like, that's terrible. And Australia said someone it happened. So this is something that apparently is happening. The tricky part of this is it's so hard to prove. See, we're really smart around drinks now. You never leave your drink unattended because someone could drop something in it and spike it. Don't ever do that at any room party, anything, period. Just don't leave your drink out. But we're all aware of that. But how do you stop yourself from a needle jabbing? Like someone just walking by jabbing you and just that's it. You can't really do anything about it. That's what's horrifying. That's terrifying that there are people out there like that. Because furries is a minority group and we're full of a bunch of gay people, it could be a thing that people do as a hate crime against us. It is a very real possibility. And if you remember Confuzzled, when there was a person that they said the chavs were outside throwing stones at attendees and they had to take away anything that would identify them as a furry and store it when they're going outside because people were literally attacking furries at a convention. It's scary. You know, I have Megaplex coming up. I will be vending there under my company 14 Werewolves, and Florida's terrifying. I am scared. Unfortunately, the convention is on DeSantis's radar, and you know, that's one of the scariest people on earth, and you never really know what's going to happen at a convention. I'm not trying to just fearmonger with this video. I just want to make people aware of things that are apparently going on and that could happen to you, and maybe give some suggestions on what to do if they happen. Because I'm going to keep going to conventions no matter what, because I don't want to let these people who are doing these types of things win and let them scare me out of doing things like that, because that really is a victory on their part. And if something happens to me, then so be it. That's how I view it in my older years at age 32. If something happens, it happens, but I will do what I can to prevent it, and I want to educate on other people on how to prevent it. In the case of other conventions, there's been gun scares, and that's, again, something, if you're an American citizen, is all too common that happens here, and it very well could be the case at a convention. I have also lived through the gas attack at Midwest Fur Fest that actually did injure one of my personal friends and multiple other people. That was a real thing. That was a real horrible incident that they never, to my knowledge, got down to the bottom of, and that was years ago. So it's scary. You know, going to conventions, but I'm not trying to deter you to go to them. I still encourage people to go to them, but we just have to be careful, and we as a community have to be more vigilant. And I like that Fur said they're gonna install better resolution cameras in the dances and stuff to try to really pick up on people if this actually were to have occurred, and they could spot the person and, you know, get that person out of there and hopefully arrested. So obviously conventions need to step up security. We need to step up our awareness, and I don't know. It's scary, you know? As the years go on, it gets more and more scary. I don't know. Maybe I'm pessimistic, but it feels like things are kind of getting a little bit worse every year. I don't know. I don't want to be a downer, but I just thought I'd make a video on this because it just seemed like something I should do. And again, I'm working on the Weird Side of Furries video. Hopefully that'll be like the next upload or two. And I really encourage you guys to check out that video because that's been a lot of work and it's been a lot of waiting for people to respond. That's why it keeps getting delayed. But yeah, that's this week's video. I don't feel like promoting myself because it's a weird video to do so, but yeah, subscribe or whatever. It's been Odin, and really though, stay safe out there. Bye-bye.
And as always, I want to thank my patrons for last month, especially Timmy at the Timmy Donut tier. Timmy's the best. I was just with Timmy, and it was great hanging out with you again, Timmy. Hi. You're great, but you already know that. And I have a new double diamond patron, Stick Shift 03 Cobra. Thank you so much, Stick Shift, for joining me at the double diamond patron. That is a huge amount of support, and it's been quite some time since someone has joined at that high of a tier. So seriously, dude, thank you so much for your support last month at this tier. You're absolutely incredible. And everybody at Diamond, the returning Lindsay and Natty Daddy, and we have a new Diamond patron, Friday, with 2 A's. Thank you, all of you, for your, again, huge amount of support. You guys are so effing amazing, and I could never thank you enough. And everybody at Platinum, Tantanka, Jay Skulls, Dynamo, Neo, Robert Deere, Uyafa, Sleeping Kaiju, and a new one, Virtual Peanut Dusk. Thank you all for your platinum support last month. I say it every time, but again, this is a lot of money to be pledging to an individual creator, and I sincerely thank you from the bottom of my heart that you guys feel that I am worthy of this much support. And everybody at Gold, Silver, and other tiers, thank you so much.